by Russian Defense Ministry on progress of special military operation. From 8 to February 14th, the armed forces of the Russian Federation carried out 14 group strikes with high-precision weapons and strike unmanned aerial vehicles to hit gas and power infrastructure that support the work of the Ukrainian armed forces, as well as the facilities of the Ukrainian defense industry. In addition, strikes were delivered at AFU ammunition and POL depots, infrastructure of military airfields, assembly workshops, UAV storage facilities and training sites for drone pilots, as well as temporary deployment areas of the Ukrainian armed forces. During the week, the Sever group of forces continued to rout AFU units in Kursk region. Aviation, unmanned aerial vehicles, and artillery fire hit manpower and hardware of 1 heavy mechanized brigade, 4 mechanized brigades, 1 tank brigade, 1 air assault brigade of the AFU, 1 marine brigade, and 3 territorial defense brigades. In Kharkov direction, Russian troops inflicted fire damage on AFU units of 1 motorized infantry brigade, 1 air assault brigade of the AFU, 1 National Guard brigade, and 2 territorial defense brigades. During the week, more than 2,590 troops, 18 tanks, and 110 armored fighting vehicles of the enemy have been neutralized in the area of responsibility of the Sever group of forces. In total, 147 motor vehicles, 39 field artillery guns, and 4 ammunition depots were neutralized. The Zapad Group's units improved the situation along the front line and inflicted fire damage on manpower and hardware of 4 mechanized brigades, 1 airborne brigade, 1 mountain assault brigade, and 1 assault brigade of the armed forces of Ukraine, and 2 territorial defense brigades. The enemy sustained losses of more than 1,480 troops, 7 tanks, 25 armored fighting vehicles, including 11 foreign-made ones. Moreover, 23 motor vehicles, 35 field artillery guns, 10 electronic warfare stations, and 21 ammunition depots were neutralized. The UG Group's units improved the tactical situation and liberated Orakovo-Vasilevka and Dagnoy, Donetsk People's Republic. The group's units inflicted fire damage on 5 mechanized brigades, 1 motorized infantry brigade, 1 assault brigade, and 1 airmobile brigade of the armed forces of Ukraine, 1 marine brigade, and 2 territorial defense brigades. In this direction, the AFU has lost up to 1,325 troops, 10 armored fighting vehicles, 18 motor vehicles, and 17 field artillery guns, including 5 Western-made guns. 3 field ammunition depots were destroyed. The Center Group's units continued their advance to the depths of the enemy's defense and liberated the settlements of Dzerzhinsk, Yasinovoy, Vodianoy Toroy, and Zelenoy Pol, Donetsk People's Republic. Strikes were delivered at units of 6 mechanized brigades, 2 Jaeger brigades, 1 airmobile brigade, 1 marine brigade, 2 National Guard brigades, and the Lyat Brigade of the National Police of Ukraine. The AFU losses amounted to more than 3,730 troops, 3 tanks, including a German-made Leopard tank, and 26 armored fighting vehicles. 36 motor vehicles and 26 field artillery guns were neutralized, including 7 Western-made guns. Units of the Vostok Group of forces continued advancing into the depth of enemy defenses. They inflicted fire damage on 1 tank brigade, 5 mechanized brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine, 1 marine brigade, and 2 territorial defense brigades. The enemy has lost more than 1,005 troops, 3 tanks, including 1 German-made Leopard tank, 2 armored fighting vehicles, 26 motor vehicles, and 33 field artillery guns, including 12 NATO-made guns. 2 electronic warfare stations were destroyed. The Dnipro Group's units inflicted fire damage on manpower and hardware of 1 mechanized brigade, 1 infantry brigade of the AFU, and 2 territorial defense brigades. The AFU losses amounted to more than 440 troops, 1 tank, 3 armored fighting vehicles, 40 motor vehicles, and 10 field artillery guns. 8 electronic warfare stations and 13 ammunition depots were neutralized. Over the past week, air defense systems have shot down 1 JDAM and 28 HIMARS MLRS projectiles, 11 French-made Hammer aerial bombs, 1 Uragan MLRS projectile, as well as 725 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. Over the past week, 24 Ukrainian servicemen have surrendered on the line of contact. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, 653 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 43,342 unmanned aerial vehicles, 594 anti-aircraft missile systems, 21,450 tanks and other armored fighting vehicles, 1,517 MLRS combat vehicles, 21,721 field artillery guns and mortars, and 31,674 units of support military vehicles of the enemy have been neutralized. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue the special military operation. In Kharkov direction, units of the Sever group of forces hit formations of 2 territorial defense brigades close to Volchansk and Okremovka, Kharkov region. The AFU losses amounted to more than 25 troops, 4 motor vehicles, and 1 field artillery gun. 1 ammunition depot was destroyed. The Zapad group of forces units improved the tactical situation and delivered strikes at manpower and hardware of 3 mechanized brigades, 1 mountain assault brigade of the AFU, and 1 National Guard brigade close to Peskanoy, Novaya Kruglyakavka, Zelenigai, Zagrezovo, Kharkov region, Shangdragalovo, Novoy, Yampilovka, and Kaladizi, Donetsk People's Republic. The AFU losses amounted to more than 200 troops, 1 tank, 5 armored fighting vehicles, to include 3 U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carriers, 7 motor vehicles, 5 field artillery guns, 2 of which were Western-made. 1 electronic warfare station and 4 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the UG group of forces took more advantageous lines and positions. Formations of 2 mechanized brigades, 1 assault brigade, 1 motorized infantry brigade of the AFU, and 2 territorial defense brigades suffered losses near Pretikino, Katarinovka, Orakovo-Vasilievka, Nikolaevka, Zelenovka, Sukhayili, and Chasov Yar, Donetsk People's Republic. The AFU losses amounted to up to 180 troops, 3 motor vehicles, 1 self-propelled artillery system, and 1 ammunition depot. The Center group of forces units improved the situation along the front line. The Russian troops inflicted losses on manpower and hardware of 2 heavy mechanized brigades, 5 mechanized brigades, 1 Jaeger brigade of the AFU, and the Light Assault Brigade of the National Police of Ukraine near Drozhba, Sherbanovka, Udagnoy, Novopavlovka, Tarasovka, Dzerzhinsk, Vodianoy Toroy, and Kedlino, Donetsk People's Republic. The AFU losses amounted to more than 505 troops, 5 armored fighting vehicles, to include 1 U.S.-made Bradley infantry fighting vehicle, 2 motor vehicles, and 7 artillery guns, to include 1 Western-made self-propelled artillery system. Units of the Vostok group of forces continued advancing into the depth of enemy defenses. Formations of 1 tank brigade, 3 mechanized brigades of the AFU, and 3 territorial defense brigades were hit near Berlitskoy, Novoselka, Novopol, and Rovnopol, Donetsk People's Republic. The AFU losses amounted to up to 135 troops, 2 armored fighting vehicles, 3 motor vehicles, 2 field artillery guns, to include 1 U.S.-made 155 mm Paladin self-propelled artillery system. Units of the Dnepr group of forces launched strikes at manpower and hardware of 1 mountain assault brigade and 3 coastal defense brigades of the AFU close to Sherbaki, Zaporizhzhia region, Dniprovskoy, Yantarnoy, and Nikolskoy, Kherson region. The AFU losses amounted to up to 45 troops, 2 motor vehicles, and 1 uncrewed surface vehicle. Operational tactical aviation, attack unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the Russian groups of forces engaged the infrastructure of military airfields, storage and training sites for the launch of unmanned aerial vehicles, as well as clusters of manpower and hardware of the armed forces of Ukraine in 142 areas. Air defense systems have shot down 2 French-made Hammer-guided aerial bombs, 10 U.S.-made HIMARS MLRS projectiles, and 106 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, 653 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 42,569 unmanned aerial vehicles, 590 anti-aircraft missile systems, 21,047 tanks and other armored fighting vehicles, 1,513 MLRS combat vehicles, 21,292 field artillery guns and mortars, and 31,239 units of support military vehicles have been neutralized.